So it was brought to my attention last week that people are not too fond of us wearing shorts on the set. And, okay, don't get me wrong. I'm a shorts guy, right? I'm a YouTube shorts guy.
Oh, stop.
No. I wear shorts in the summer.
Yeah.
But not really in the winter. But there's a reason we don't wear shorts on set. And I remember the first test pod, I asked you guys, I was like, guys, don't wear shorts.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was like confusing when I first said that, but now it makes so much more sense. These chairs, it's the chairs.
Mm-hmm.
They're so low to the ground so then the camera has to be lower to the ground, and then you see everything. It's out there for the world to see.
It all peeks through.
It all. Oh, jeez. No, I mean, Jake, we love Jake, and I hope you guys like Jake too. We'd love to have him back on as a reoccurring guest.
Booty shorts, bro.
Dude, that guy was wearing a thong, bro.
Thong on set, bro. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Loud on Set. I'm Jonah, and this is my co-host,
Austin.
And today we did something that probably a lot of people haven't done in a few years. We went out to the cinema to watch a Marvel movie.
Well, let me just preface. It's actually been, I will say, it's been a minute since me and you have seen a movie and then went to go record a pod.
It's been since like Wicked, to be honest.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah.
We've just been on a different grind for podcasts.
Because then there was Podmas, and then we've done a few guest spots and stuff. It's like it's been a long time since we went to the theater, watched a movie, and then immediately went to record.
And we do want to get more into the habit of taking your guys' recommendations and watching films that are already released, not just new ones.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, geez, I burped. I'm dying over here.
Ooh.
And using that as an opportunity to talk about that on the pod as well. So if you guys have any movie recommendations,
hit us up. Well, I mean, we're the people.
Yeah, leave a comment. And we have another special treat. I'm just gonna give a little quick rundown. What's happening in the Loud and Set universe?
The Loud on Set multiverse, bro.
Yeah. So next week, when you're watching this, the One Land pod is already out.
Yeah.
And then next week, there's going to be a part two, you could say.
Two of what?
A part two of the One Land pod, where we talked about Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind and Fight Club.
Mm-hmm.
And then the week after that, do we want to say that yet, or do we want to keep that under wraps?
Let's give the people what they want. Let's tease a little bit. So the idea is there will be a Loud on Set takeover. Mm-hmm. And what that means is my girlfriend and friend of the pod, Ray, both of whom have been guests before on this podcast.
Both of those pods did numbers, too.
Both of those pods did numbers. They are going to be taking over for a day. And
we're going to leave.
We're going to leave. We're not going to be here. We're going to be at Taco Bell.
Yeah, ladies on set.
Ladies on set is fire. That's awesome. But essentially what the premise is we're going to give them movies to watch, and they're going to watch them, and they're going to do reviews like we do. But I think the catch we're going with is that they won't know who picked what movie.
Yeah.
And they have to deduce, who picked which one.
Which I think is a really interesting concept. And I'm actually curious to see what they think of the movies that we picked.
Yeah.
Because the movies that we frequent are, like, even the movies we frequent between the two of us are not the same.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, the movies that we watch compared to the movies they watch, very different.
Very different.
I'm excited to see what could happen. It's a nice little break for us. We just click record and leave.
Yeah, hit record and we're off to Taco Bell, bro.
That's true. Yeah, so just moving forward in this episode, there is Thunderbolts spoilers. I think this is kind of pretty common for us, is that there's spoilers of movies. But I just feel the need to reiterate that every time.
And this, I mean, like, as much as I hate to admit it, because I am kind of like, I'm the Marvel hater. Like, you guys know Marvel haters. I'm one of them, really. But, like, this is a movie that can be spoiled, and I wouldn't want to ruin that for anybody. So, like,
that's true.
This is your chance to turn away.
That's
true. Yeah.
So, I mean, we can kind of just get right into it.
Yeah.
I just want to say really quick that I wouldn't say I'm like a fanboy, but I would say I was a Marvel fan. I tried to stay up on all the media.
Mm-hmm.
I think the last, really, before this movie, the last Marvel movies I enjoyed. I enjoyed Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
I didn't see it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
Okay.
Pretty solid. I think it wasn't anything spectacular, but it definitely holds up to the rest of the movies.
Just so you know what to expect from me, if it came out after No Way Home, I probably haven't seen it.
Yeah.
That's like where I end.
Yeah. So I kind of stopped. So I watched that movie, and then I watched the Loki series, and I think you watched WandaVision as well.
I watched WandaVision,
Yeah,
and I watched a bit of. I was going to say Vision. That is the show, but there's another Marvel show, not Loki, not Hawkeye. Is there another one?
Moon Knight?
No, maybe am I thinking of like I'm thinking of Disney Plus shows. I've
Okay.
seen The Mandalorian is what I've seen.
No. So yeah, I watched Moon Knight. Moon Knight, I honestly think is probably hot take the best piece of Marvel media to ever be released.
Wow.
That is a hard statement. I'm saying like after like anything like pre like after Endgame. I'm saying.
Okay.
But I think Loki can top any like of many of the movies before.
Are you saying Loki can top or Loki can top?
Moon Knight?
Yeah, but you said Loki can top, and then I got confused.
No.
Like,
I'm saying like
L-O-K-I?
low key, like
okay,
on the DL.
I thought so, but yeah.
Okay, sorry, that was confusing.
Yeah, I was like, huh?
Yeah, no. The Loki show is also very great. Love that. But in terms of Marvel movies, I haven't been keeping up.
Yeah, not at all.
So there was some things that I didn't know going into this movie, like especially some of the characters. So I did a little bit of research.
Yeah.
But yeah. So do you just want to dive into it?
Let's dive into it.
Where do we even start with this?
I want to start with saying like I have not seen Black Widow. I have not seen Loki. I knew of
I haven't seen Black Widow either.
Captain and Winter Soldier.
I haven't seen that either.
That's what I had. That was the other show I was trying to think of. Because like I totally knew who Johnny Walker was.
Got it.
Or whatever his name is.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the most recent Captain America movie.
No.
I haven't seen.
Not Brave New World. I haven't seen that yet. But I'm talking about like the show with Sam Wilson and Bucky. I have seen that. And so I knew who like the evil Captain America guy was. And yeah, I didn't know like really any of the characters going into it, but I was thoroughly entertained.
Oh.
And
okay.
This is like it's hyperbole, and I'm not the one to be saying it because like I haven't seen a lot of the new Marvel movies, but this is like the best thing I've seen from Marvel in a long time.
I'm gonna have to agree with you. I'm not trying to be a glazer, right?
Yeah.
But I think this movie was a really good it's a movie of redemption for all these characters because they're bad heroes.
They're bad, yeah.
And I think actually really quick, I just want to point out it's Johnny Walker, right?
Yeah.
I like his character quite a bit because especially when that show came out, right? A lot of people hated him.
Yeah.
Hated him as cuz they saw him as taking over the new Captain America. Which is so ironic because that's what was happening in the Marvel universe and people also hated him.
People didn't like him in the universe either.
He was made to be a hated character and people outside in real life actually hated him as a character, which that was the whole point. And I'm so glad that it worked like that. And I think he had kind of a redemption in this.
He did have a redemption. You kind of got to see what made the cogs tick.
Yeah.
The gears tick. And yeah, he was very humanized.
For sure. No, this movie, I don't know. There was just I think it's because I'm so used to the extreme don't get me wrong, there's definitely parts of this movie that are that's an extreme world ending event, right?
Yeah. Very Marvel event.
But it wasn't to the level that they normally are.
Yeah.
And I think it was emotionally complicated, which I think you don't see in Marvel films a lot because it dealt with I guess depression was probably the biggest one.
Yeah, I was so impressed that a Marvel movie so thoughtfully handled it's not at all stated, but it's it's super implied that dude had probably bipolar because he was always talking about his mood being he was happy and then he had these really down periods. So it felt really refreshing that Marvel was this is a broken guy, but he can still be. See,
and this is what I'm going to say really quick. I don't want to spoil too much of this. I'm going to talk about Moon Knight for a second.
Okay.
Because if you like that part of this film, I think you'd like Moon Knight.
Probably.
Because it delves into those more touchier topics.
Okay.
Like one of the biggest things with Moon Knight is this guy, like it's a huge part of his character. He has crazy childhood trauma.
Okay.
And that's like a huge part of his character. I'm not going to get too much into it, but like if you saw it, you would know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But it does get into kind of storylines that might be a little bit touchy or hard for audiences to watch.
Yeah.
But I think the way they did that in this movie was good. It kind of reminded me of I think it was Age of Ultron when Wanda would like tap into people's brains.
Yeah.
Kind of a little similar with that. How Sentry or Bob would kind of just like, dude, this guy murked people.
Yeah, bro. Shadowed them, bro.
Dude, the little girl, bro.
Yeah, like you're safe, little girl, and then she just turns into darkness, bro. She's gone.
There's a scene where there's this giant like rock about to fall on this like 5-year-old girl.
Yeah.
And Red Guardian jumps in and like saves her, and he's like, "I got you, little girl.
You are safe now."
And then she like smiles. She just gets disintegrated
by the bad guy. She gets like
boom.
atomized,
It goes,
bro. And the shadow like floats.
That was
away.
a really cool effect. I really liked like the darkness and how you could only see like the shine in his eyes.
Yeah.
That was like, I messed with that.
It was like creepy a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. The part that like really emotionally got me was when Bob is like beating himself up, and then Yelena,
Yeah.
goofy name, bro.
Russian
no,
name.
No offense to any of the Yelenas out there. I just don't know how to pronounce it, so I'm gonna
all
make
you
fun.
Yelenas out there.
What's up, Yelena? And then she like comes up behind him and like hugs him, and she's like, "You're not alone." It's like that is so like it's so emotional.
And it's like I feel like too, you have this moment. So much happens in this scene where it's the same scene where he's like beating himself up, where the evil version of himself, right, like traps everybody, right, like crushes them in the wall and stuff like that. And then you have this moment where you realize, oh, Bob is like the only guy that can actually take on the evil side because it's him. And then you're like, oh yeah, like you're kind of rooting for him, and then he starts punching him, and then he gets him on the ground, and then you realize, oh
Yeah.
wait, this isn't good.
This isn't good.
And
he's trying to take care of the problem himself.
Yeah, and then you kind of have like a full swing of emotions in this one scene.
Yeah.
And it's just like there's so many ways you could look at it as metaphors for actual like challenging and mental issues that it's just really complex for a Marvel movie.
It is.
Which was surprising. But I also the older I've gotten, the more I've become a fan of kind of the more I don't want to say gritty, because like when I think you think of gritty Marvel, you think of like Deadpool and stuff, and I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like that, like, and like Captain America. I don't want to say it's more grounded, but do you know what I'm saying?
I know what you mean.
Not like your traditional superhero in like bright colors flying around, stuff like that.
They're kind of more like undercover agents.
Yes,
or whatever.
exactly.
Yeah.
I've kind of become more of a fan of that, and you got a lot of that in this film.
Yes, it was such a great balance, because like people that like appreciate that aspect more definitely got what they wanted.
Yeah.
And then sometimes when I see a superhero movie, I just want to see superheroes, and that is also in this movie to an extent.
Yeah, and I think they're really finding their footing after a while, because I do think Marvel has had in the past a big issue in balancing how serious they make their movies and the comedy, especially.
Oh, it's a big problem for them.
Yeah,
big
because
problem.
Especially like one of the things like I think of is like an Endgame with Thor, right? When he got fat, like they literally just like kind of, it felt almost insulting to like the character arc of Thor, right? Because he was just then a throwaway funny character.
Yeah.
So when you did have him try to be serious, it didn't feel serious, right?
Yeah.
But like in this, like with the Red Guardian, like he was a pretty prominent comedy aspect to this film, right? Yeah. But when he did get serious, it didn't feel like wrong.
Yeah, it felt like very genuine. That's one thing I wanted to point out.
And I think it's because it wasn't like ridiculous, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, yeah, they have the tropes where, like, because he's a bigger guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they don't make that his entire character. They don't
It's
make
not his
they don't make
personality.
this dude like he's a fat superhero,
Yeah,
right?
that was definitely what they did with Thor and Endgame, and it was
Yeah.
a little annoying. I mean, like I got what they
Mhm.
were going for, but it's like you can only get so much humor. out of
Yeah.
this.
So when he has these like one-on-ones with his daughter in this film, like there is heart and there is emotion in those scenes, right? And that's just like, I don't know, you don't see that in a Marvel movie too often.
Yeah.
I also noticed just the past couple of years, I'm yapping, I'm sorry.
No, it's
but,
okay.
The past couple of years, just the cinematography has been fairly flat and just kind of so big budget.
Mm-hmm.
But with this, everything seemed like pretty solid, right?
Yeah, colorful, not in terms of
Yeah.
like color, but
I know
like
what you're saying.
creativity, kind of, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, like the actual like color grade, if
Yeah.
you want to go
Yeah, yeah.
that deep. Color grade. But
Yeah. Geez, what do I even start with? Like, obviously, I'm not like the biggest Marvel enjoyer.
Mhm.
And that's not even because I dislike the idea of superhero movies. Some of my favorite movies are superhero movies.
Yeah.
But it's like Marvel is only using their movies as like a vessel to get to like the next movie.
Yes.
It's like none of them ever have the patience to like sit down and
Mhm.
like explore their characters.
Yeah.
And this movie like does that.
Yes, and I think one thing that I think Marvel needs to get back to that I saw with this movie
Mm-hmm.
is, like you said, a lot of their movies seem to be like you said, a vessel to kind of prepare the next wave of Marvel movies.
Mm-hmm.
When I think back in the day, and especially now with this film, you have that preparation and setup in the post credit. That's the point of the post credit scene,
Yeah.
is setting up the next movie. You don't need that setup to be the entire movie.
Yeah.
Right?
One criticism I hear a lot about the TV shows, and it's like I can't confirm or deny because I won't lie to you, I haven't seen a lot of the TV
Yeah.
shows, is like they are like 6-hour miniseries that are just devoted to getting the characters their costumes, pretty much. Which is like,
Yeah.
it's a little too real. It's like
Mhm.
the only reason this exists is not to tell like a creative or interesting story. It's to like get these people from point A to point B.
Exactly.
But like this feels like it's finally like willing to take interest in its characters,
For sure.
and I'm so thankful for that.
It was such an unexpected gathering of characters.
Yeah.
And like I feel like you could say that like the people even in the universe is like, oh, these guys are misfits. These are just a random group of people. But like literally, sorry.
Ugh.
No, literally like I haven't seen the Black Widow movie.
Me neither.
Like I knew of those characters though. 'Cause,
Right.
Like I've seen like photos of them and stuff.
Like the Marvel movies are still popular. You
Yeah.
hear about these characters
sure.
and stuff. Yeah.
And then like I knew the I forget her name. The one that like the Invisible Girl from
I'm not gonna lie, she had like the least personality in this movie.
yeah.
She kind of faded in.
Mm.
No pun intended. She kind of faded into the background a bit.
Yeah. She was low key just disappearing half of the film.
Yeah, it's true.
But no, it's just like all these characters where you're like, oh yeah, I know of this character, and like don't get me wrong, I love like Bucky as a character.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I got to see more of him in this film. But it's just like all these characters that you feel like have been kind of thrown to the side, and then it's just like such a good pairing,
I know.
right?
Yeah.
So I really hope, and I know Avengers Doomsday is supposed to be like giant Infinity War scale.
Mm-hmm.
I just hope they don't, and then they probably will, end up ruining what they had going here, right?
Yeah. That's my big concern is like, what if this was a fluke? What if this is a one-time
Yeah.
thing?
And then Doctor Doom comes out and he's like, okay, here's the deal. I hate you 3,000. And
yeah,
it
yeah.
ends. And the movie ends.
So, okay. I don't know much about the Doomsday movie. I'm kind of purposely staying away from it until I can do the Marvel binge and then
Yeah.
like catch up on the lore.
Mhm.
But is the idea that Avengers Doomsday is going to be like the regular Avengers, the new Avengers, and the Fantastic Four?
From the sounds of it, yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of, yeah.
Okay, cool.
But I don't really know where Doom comes into play.
Well, isn't he from a different like multiverse?
Yeah,
or
but I
whatever?
don't think he's from the Fantastic Four universe, so I don't really know.
Maybe like they recognize him as Doctor Doom, but
Yeah.
he's not their Doctor Doom.
Exactly, because
Yeah.
he's a multiversal threat. That's why. That's why at the end of this movie you see the Fantastic Four
Right.
come in.
And they specifically said like this is an extra dimensional spacecraft.
Yeah.
And then I even remember one of the characters was like, what does that mean? Like extra dimensional.
Yeah.
Like
I'm excited to see Pedro Pascal just perform because I think he can. And this is one thing because I remember people were fan casting John Krasinski.
yeah. And then they did that for
and
that
they did.
one
I thought
movie.
that was really cool fan service, but I just think Pedro Pascal could do a pretty solid job at portraying him being the smartest man in the room.
Yeah, exactly.
Like almost like that Tony Stark charm.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So I'm excited to see. I feel like it'd be kind of cool to see like Tony Stark, and why am I forgetting his name? Like
Who are you thinking of?
the Elastic Man. What am I saying, bro?
Mr. Fantastic?
Yeah, Mr. Fantastic.
What are you, some kind
Well,
of...
no, I'm trying to think of like his name. 'Cause he has like an actual name.
Johnny Fantastic?
I don't think it's Johnny Fantastic. You know what I'm saying. Anyways.
I know what you're saying.
But I would like to see like a dynamic between like him and Tony Stark on screen because I feel like Tony Stark is like egotistical and smart, while he just kind of seems maybe not as egotistical.
I'm Doomsday is going to be like an interesting beast.
Yeah. I do think this is how I think it's going to happen.
Okay.
I think Fantastic Four is going to come out. I think it's going to be a good movie. I think it's going to be a really good movie.
I'm not convinced yet. I'm not convinced.
And then I think Doomsday is going to be like glazing fan service of a movie, and it's just going to be kind of mid.
I think I'm not sold. Okay, the two superhero movies coming out this summer are very like retro throwback superhero movies. We have Superman and the Fantastic Four, and I'm not convinced about either of them.
Really?
I don't think either. I think both of them are going to be like fine. I think they're going to be like 6s out of 10.
That's fair.
I'm not convinced yet on Marvel. Like Thunderbolts, I'm hoping it isn't a fluke because like I finally want to be able to enjoy these.
And it's interesting that like because normally this movie came out maybe a week or two ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago probably.
And I wouldn't say, I mean, our theater wasn't full, but there was like
full.
It was a good amount of people in there, and I think originally opening weekend it didn't. I don't know the numbers, but my guess is that probably didn't perform crazy opening weekend, and then people start hearing the reviews and they're like, oh wait, so it's good, and then people are going to check it out later, which is kind of how like what happened with us too.
Dude, the thing that kills me is that like Marvel cannot keep it in their pants, bro. Like
exactly,
they put New Avengers on the poster like a week ago.
Yeah,
like that's supposed to be like close to like post-credit scene level of like secrecy. Like that's not supposed to come out.
Like, have you seen like the video of like the actors like ripping off the title on the poster? I was like, oh,
so dumb.
I was like, okay. But I think part of the reason for that is like the Avengers, like that title comes with like such a
like weight.
Yeah, a weight to it where it gets people kind of drawn in a little bit more. Right. But I don't know, man. This movie was good. It was good, and I was not like. I mean, my brother told me about it, and he's not really a Marvel fan, and he said he enjoyed it, and like, I enjoyed it. Yeah, it's definitely a superhero movie. I like, jeez, whoa, like I haven't seen a superhero movie that I've like thoroughly enjoyed in like a minute.
Yeah, because Marvel has such a monopoly, and there just haven't been really there haven't been any DC movies lately because they're doing the whole like overhaul.
Yeah, I don't know. That's so hard to follow, dude.
I'm following it. So what they're doing is
Clue
So DC had a cinematic universe that was overseen by Zack Snyder, and like none of them were well received, and they were like Warner Brothers was like we need this to be different.
Was it some kind of Suicide Squad?
Exactly. So James Gunn directed the newer Suicide Squad, and people liked that. So Warner Brothers was like, hey, you would be really good as like the head of like DC content creation. So what he's done now is they're not doing the Zack Snyder movies anymore, and they're starting over from scratch. Yeah. But like some characters might be brought in from the old one, but that doesn't make the whole old universe like canon. And I just know that Superman is like supposed to be the beginning of this new universe, and if Superman flops, then like DC's only hope is the Batman franchise with Robert Pattinson.
The first Batman was so good, dude.
It was so good.
It was. Oh
You know
my
what I'm
gosh.
excited
That was
for?
like a generational movie, bro.
Next year, there's gonna be a Clayface body horror movie. I'm
That's
so
sick.
ready. I'm so
That's
ready.
sick.
Yeah.
I love that because like I feel like also too, I feel like people that aren't really clued in with DC could probably go see that and
Probably.
enjoy it, right?
Right. Yeah.
Actually really quick. I just want to run it back to Thunderbolts real quick.
Yeah.
I feel like they did a pretty good job at explaining, like, if you didn't know who any of these people were, you can still watch this movie and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like, okay. I think like you could pretty much go from Endgame to just like straight to this, and probably be completely fine.
You probably could.
And, like you can follow. It's not like I like that you don't have to do crazy homework for it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm excited for Fantastic Four. That's why I like Moon Knight. The stuff you
Yeah.
don't have to go and do homework
Yeah.
for. Okay, would I be crazy to give you like a rundown of like what Moon Knight is?
Go for it.
Okay, because I need to convince you to watch this show.
I'm convinced. You can do your rundown though.
Okay. Do I even remember their names? Okay.
What are you, some kind of Moon Knight?
Okay, bro.
Okay,
bro.
I'm done.
So in Moon Knight, why am I? Okay, I just remember his name. Steven is the main guy. Right? Okay. Bro.
I'm Steve.
Steven here.
Stop.
No. So Steven, he has DID, dissociative identity disorder, but he doesn't know he has it in the beginning.
Oh, crazy.
So, I'm just gonna give you like I'm gonna loop you in a little bit, but it's like explaining it a little bit, but it's not like heavy spoilers. Okay. So, he starts getting himself in like some crazy trouble, and he'll black out, and he'll basically respawn.
Okay.
And he'll like his hands will be like covered in blood and stuff like that. He has no idea what happened. Long story short, sorry. This guy that he kind of blacks out and turns into, that's actually him. So from the start, you're following Steven, which is actually the like made up version of himself. Like I don't you know what okay, so you know how like people with dissociative identity disorder, a lot of the times that will come from trauma and masking and stuff like that. So his brain made Steven as a
it's like a
as a coping mechanism, because his parents were like abusive to him as a child.
Oh,
so it's like it gets deep.
That's crazy.
And it's dude, it's so good. The action in it is awesome.
Okay.
The soundtrack is amazing. I love the soundtrack.
Okay.
His costume is sick, dude. It's just like I was watching it. I remember when I was watching it week by week when it came out, and I was like, dude, you can't keep doing this to me.
Yeah.
Like every time, I'm like, oh no, not again.
Not again.
And it's just dude, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that they can kind of touch your subjects. I'm like voice cracking like
crazy. The Marvel show I really want to watch is Werewolf by Night.
What was that?
It's like Marvel black and white horror with a werewolf guy. That's all I know about it. That's all I know about it.
Speaking of black and white,
The Lighthouse.
No. Have you seen anything about Spider-Man Noir?
I've seen that you can watch it in color or in black and white. If you
I'm not a fan of that.
Why not?
I think they should commit. I think they should just go all black and white.
I don't think it matters.
I think for a show that has noir in the name, like I feel like they're like, oh, some people don't like watching black and white, so we'll make it a colored version. Here's my thing.
Okay.
I know that they're gonna try to promote, and they're gonna really push the black and white version of this, which I think is doing themselves almost a disservice, because that means they most likely shot it with the intention of it being in black and white.
Yeah.
And the way you shoot black and white things is very different than the way you shoot color things, because it then requires you to focus a lot more on dude.
This
oh
is
my
bad.
gosh.
This is bad. Sip some water.
Yeah. It requires you to focus a lot more on your framing and just the way things are balanced. Contrast is a huge thing. So I just don't know. I mean, I could be wrong. It could be great. I'm watching it in black and white. I'll tell you that.
I don't know if I'm watching it.
Nicolas Cage, bro.
Yeah, I don't think Nicolas Cage is like the bar for quality. I think Nicolas Cage has done amazing things. I also think Nicolas Cage has done awful things.
What's your favorite Nick Cage movie?
Can I look? Can I cheat?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
And then tell me
Keep
your
yapping. Where's
then
my
tell me
phone?
your least favorite
Oh.
Nick Cage movie.
Okay, I will tell you
Ever.
my favorite.
Can I
Okay. It's not my least favorite in terms of
A
quality.
raindrop falls on it. I can't do like a
Hang on.
Nick Cage impression. A raindrop
Like
falls
a
on
bird, like I'm a cat. Have you seen Community?
No.
There's an episode where they have because it's a community college and there's like Nicolas Cage 101
Really?
and like this kid like does like a Nicolas Cage impression and he's like, I'm a cat, I'm a sexy cat, and he like
Oh.
gets up on a table and starts like purring.
A raindrop falls on a shaky gutter
What is that?
in the wind.
What do you
I'm the
quoting?
only, I don't know. He says some weird stuff like
Yeah,
that
he
when
does.
he's Spider-Man Noir.
Okay.
You gotta lock in.
I gotta lock my favorite Nicolas Cage movie.
Crudes.
The Cruise is fire, actually.
You should
Okay.
rewatch that.
It's a three-way tie.
Okay.
Okay.
What is it?
My three-way Nicolas Cage tie is The Croods.
You're joking. Actually?
Actually,
Okay.
why not? It's
I
a
haven't
great
rewatched
performance.
it.
Raising Arizona,
Okay.
which is do you know the? Okay, I'll read these premises. When a childless couple, an ex-con and an ex-cop, decide to help themselves to one of another family's quintuplets,
Oh.
their lives become more complicated than they anticipated. So basically, like,
Can I see that list really quick?
Yeah.
Sorry, keep talking.
of like the Nicolas Cage movies.
Yeah.
Back out. Yeah. So Raising Arizona is really funny and it has a lot of heart. It's kind of like just a young couple trying to start a family. And then my third in my tied Nicolas Cage list is Wild at Heart, which is a
Okay.
David Lynch movie. It's
Yeah.
Let's see here. It's just about like this couple that's dating, and the mom really hates Nick Cage, so she sends like hitmen to kill him as they're dating, and they like hit the road.
Okay.
My least favorite Nicolas Cage movie, not in terms of quality, but like I saw it in the theater and it like really messed me up. Have you heard of Long Legs?
I've heard of Long Legs, but I haven't seen it. I didn't even know he was in that.
Yeah, he's Long Legs.
Oh,
He's the killer.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was. It was a quality movie. It was good. I just saw it in the theater and like it freaked me out.
Jeez. I heard it was body horror.
It's not really.
No,
I mean,
really?
People die and get cut up. It's a horror movie, but it's frightening. It's
Okay, I don't think I've seen enough Nick Cage movies to justify being able to give you my favorite and least favorite. But I'm gonna throw a couple out on the table that I think I enjoyed that I saw more recently. Okay, there's this awful movie that I have watched 4 times in the span of like a year.
Oh, what?
With my friend Will,
Okay.
we watched this movie. It's called and Ian on separate occasions. It's called Willy's Wonderland.
Oh, I've heard of this.
It is basically FNAF. I think they did a better job at portraying what animatronics could be like than the
FNAF.
actual FNAF movie.
I haven't seen FNAF.
It's all right.
I'm not missing anything.
You're really not. But the thing about Nick Cage in this movie, he does not say a single word
He doesn't?
the entire film. There's not like a little end moment where he says something and it's all precious.
What am I
He
sup-
says not a single word the entire movie.
That's wild.
I don't know if it's like they couldn't afford it or like,
That's crazy.
but he's the main character.
Oh.
He's the main character.
The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Oh, yeah.
I
I've
forgot
heard about that. I haven't
That's
actually
a
seen it.
Good. It's just Nicolas Cage glazing with Pedro Pascal in
Okay.
it. It's
Okay.
good. Anyway, continue.
No, it is crazy. And he's just like this badass.
Yeah.
Like these kids stumble in to the like Five Nights at Freddy's basically, and they're slowly dying one by one. And Nick Cage will come in and he'll like just murk these robots. He'll like he curb stomps one of them over a urinal. It's crazy,
That's
bro.
crazy.
And they like instead of like blood splattering everywhere, it's like oil, but it's like thick and viscous, and it really looks like blood.
Viscous.
It's
yeah.
dude, it is actually crazy, and it's so he has this like routine because he's a night guard. So what happens is he's driving along this trail. This is the beginning of the film, and I'm gonna say this, spoilers. I don't think anyone really cares.
It's Willy's Wonderland, bro.
He drives over spikes that are in the middle of the road.
Mm-hmm.
He gets a flat. He has, I think it's like a Camaro. He has like a nice car, right?
Yeah.
And he just like grunts. He doesn't say a word. And the sheriff is like, well, I think he broke some law. I don't know what actually happened, but basically, in order to get out of it, he has to take the night shift at Willy's Wonderland. He has this routine where every time he goes on break every, like, I don't know, 45 minutes for like 4 minutes. Like a 4-minute break.
Yeah.
And he cracks open a grape soda every single time, downs it.
That's gotta be.
This is his routine. And then he plays on the pinball machine. This is literally his routine. So he'll be murking monsters. These kids are about to die, and he's fighting them. And the monsters will, or not the monsters, the animatronics will have these kids cornered, and his watch will go off. He'll stop fighting, and he'll go take his break.
That's crazy.
And kids get murked
That's
because he's
wild.
on his break drinking grape soda.
I mean, real.
Dude, so I've seen this movie 4 times just because it's so ridiculous and it's so stupid.
Does it get worse?
What do you mean?
Does it get worse every time you watch it?
It's just like one of those movies that's so bad it's good.
Okay.
But it's not like bad. It's like awful to watch. It's like you're laughing because it's so ridiculous.
Okay.
I don't, dude, I do not even know. I think this tops the FNAF movie by like leagues. Dude.
Oh, okay.
It's so good, but it's an awful movie.
What's your least favorite?
I don't think I can give you a least favorite, but I'll give you another one I did like.
Okay.
That I saw more recently,
The
and I know a lot
Cruise.
of people didn't like this one. It was I think it's called Dream Scenario.
I like Dream Scenario.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
He actually reminded me a lot of my Papa Charlie in that.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why, he just did, and it's just like you're frustrated with him.
Yeah.
In this movie.
Yeah.
I saw a clip of it on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
It was a YouTube short.
Was this the movie that you watched in like shorts?
No.
What movie was that?
No. I don't remember. But I went through effort to make sure I finished the entire movie.
That's crazy.
Oh, you know what it was?
What?
Okay, bro.
What was it?
It was Catch Me If You Can. But hold on. I then later, I think it was a couple weeks later, I then rented it and watched it in full.
Good.
Because I was like, I gotta like, I'm sure I missed something.
You gotta get the in between scenes.
Yeah. But no, I remember I saw it was just like one short. It was like one of those videos where it's like there's like a voiceover and it's like this man.
Yeah.
It's like
no one likes him. The man is lonely.
the man is lonely. Everyone hates him. He's ugly. He's asked to leave the restaurant.
Yes.
And I saw that and I was like, oh, this is a pretty solid premise. And then I rented the movie, which I think is probably like best case scenario, like in terms of finding a movie off
Was it
shorts.
some kind of dream scenario?
Ain't no
Come
way
on,
you just said
that
that, bro.
was
That was a
good.
good setup. That was a good setup. No, I think Nick Cage is a great actor. I'm trying to think, because he was. You probably already know this. He was supposed to play. He was supposed to play. Was he supposed to play Spider-Man
In what?
at some point?
I don't.
In time. And then
Maybe.
I think he was supposed to play Superman,
Yeah.
and I swear I remember seeing something of like Iron Man or something. I remember seeing like a behind the scenes photo of like him in a suit that was like glowing. I don't remember exactly what it was. But no, Nick Cage is. Have you seen why can't I think of it? Ghost Rider.
No.
Dude,
is it
That's
good?
crazy.
Okay.
I haven't seen it in years, but I remember.
I've never seen it.
No, yeah. He
It
should make a reappearance
It
as
always
Ghost
looked
Rider.
too goofy. It always looked too silly.
It probably is.
Yeah. I'm not into silly things.
Do we want to round back to Thunderbolts
we
and,
can-
and kind of maybe rate it?
Oh, yeah.
Give it a quick rating.
I have a definitive rating, and like
Yeah.
I feel bad for my rating, but like it is what it is.
Okay.
Thun-
10 or 5?
Out of 10.
Okay.
Thunderbolts is a 7.
Okay.
It's the most like Thunderbolts is the most 7 movie I've ever seen in my life.
You know what? I'm not trying to like copy you, but
But
I
go
agree.
for it. Go for it.
I agree. It's a 7 movie. Yeah.
7. And like my reasoning is like, well, okay, first of all, it's crazy that like the best Marvel movie like in a few years is a 7.
Yeah, that's kind of
so
crazy.
bad. That's
but I don't
so
think
bad.
a Marvel movie will ever hit a 10.
No, but like you can strive for 8s, or maybe
Sure.
your best movies can be 9s, but not
Yeah.
not ever a 10, to be honest.
For sure. I'm excited to see what they do with Sentry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little confused by what his deal is at the end of the movie. Because is he just chilling?
Yeah, he's just hanging out.
Is he just hanging
Yeah.
out?
He's just a guy.
He's just a guy now, I guess.
Well, I get the idea, because like, remember when he's like, I forgot, but like it'll come back to me.
Yeah.
I get the idea that like they can use him sometimes. Use him is like a bad phrase, but like they can
Yeah.
they can incorporate him sometimes, but not all the time. So he's
Mhm.
just kind of always hanging out.
Yeah. Yeah. No, when he was like in his suit, he was full Homelander, bro.
That was scary, bro.
It was because he's like if I'm a god, why do I need to take orders from you? I'm like, bro, she's so
You're
cooked.
cooked.
How is she alive, bro? That's
I
like
swear,
she should have died, bro. She gives me Governor Whitmer vibes.
no, actually, kind of like Governor Whitmer vibes for real.
Yeah.
Like just unnecessary spending on bad projects.
Yes.
No, you can get that. Gonna get these roads fixed, bro.
No.
No. Yeah, like I think like, and like I kind of regret like feeling this way, but like I can't help it. Like I think I'm just gonna call him like Void, because that's like
Yeah.
the evil shadow
Yeah,
character.
for sure.
Like that could have been such a good like villain for like an upcoming movie. But like I
Yeah.
understand the need to like get rid of him in this movie.
Because he's a little OP, bro.
He's a little OP. And if they got rid of him in this little like standalone movie,
Yeah.
imagine what not Kang. Whoa. That's like 2022 Marvel.
Dude, I'm a little bummed that I didn't get to see like what they were gonna play out with that.
Well, yeah, because that one
The
guy
setup,
got, like,
the setup in Loki for it was great, though.
because that one actor got like arrested, right?
Yeah,
and
he got in like some legal
trouble, and they couldn't like carry on with. So what happened to Kang? Do you know?
I think they just completely scrapped that. I don't even think they're doing an explanation.
Did they even they didn't acknowledge it?
Well, here's the deal. So, Kang, the setup for him in Loki, it's kind of hard to explain. So Kang, there's infinite number versions of him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the setup in Loki for him doesn't actually end with him like on the loose or whatever.
Yeah.
They do defeat Kang, but his kind of whole deal is like before he dies, he's like, there's an infinite number of me.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I'll see you soon.
Oh.
That's like the type of beat.
Yeah.
And then he shows up in Ant-Man and the Wasp, and they defeat him. They kind of send him to some like shadow realm or something.
Oh.
I think they make it like the microscopic realm or whatever.
Right. Like was it some kind of quantum realm?
Yeah, quantum zone.
The quantum zone. Yeah.
And it's kind of the same deal. He's like, I'll
be back.
There'll be more of me.
Yeah.
So in a way, I think like it's not like an unfinished storyline because like
But it's just an open thread.
it's an open thread.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I do think Doctor Doom is a far more interesting character though.
Yeah.
And especially the way they're doing it with Robert Downey Jr. I'm like nervous but excited to see where they take that.
This is my last thing I'll say about Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
And then we can, if we're going to do music, we might want to do like a little bonus pod.
Oh, yeah.
Would you want to do like a little bonus pod? Like a 15-minute?
We can do a quick one, yeah.
Okay. I'm fine with that. Like a completely separate
Yeah,
entity.
go
Okay,
ahead.
cool. Yeah. So anyway, my last point, cut in here. My last point about this movie, or not this movie, but like Marvel in general, is I think it would have been a lot more interesting if they hadn't revealed Robert Downey Jr. that early.
Yeah.
Because not only would that have been great shock value in the
For
theater,
sure.
but also like, I mean, we already knew we were playing with multiverses, but now it's like, oh, we're grabbing villains from everywhere.
Yeah.
And if we hadn't known that, if this had just been some threat from like this universe, like if we had gone in thinking that, then it could have been such a mind blowing moment when it was Robert Downey Jr. because no one would have seen it coming.
Yeah. But at the same time, I get where they're coming from, like for marketing.
For
right?
marketing, yeah.
I saw a behind the scenes set photo of him. He had like a buzz cut.
Ooh.
It was interesting.
Ugh.
And I'll say this because there's like, I mean, obviously they have so many different comics to pull from,
Right.
Like versions of Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
But I think the one they're pulling from is like an actual thing. Is like Tony Stark it's basically just evil Tony Stark.
Oh, okay.
Like he goes down the wrong path. I mean, the whole kind of slogan they go for with this movie is different mask, same task. For Doctor Doom, Iron Man's task being to put a shield of armor around the world.
Yeah.
Is kind of like the thing. So my guess is it's probably
Okay.
something similar to that, but in definitely a more sinister way.
Yeah. Interesting.
So I'm excited to see where that goes. But
Yeah. I think eventually one day they're going to need to call it.
oh, for sure. I think there is a point in time where they just need to do full reset.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be hard for them to
I
accept that.
I don't think the Marvel universe is ever going to be done, but I think there will be a moment where they're like, we are completely done with all of these characters, and we're going to start fresh with a new set.
There is an infinite number of characters they can literally do.
They haven't
Like-
used Squirrel Girl yet. What are they doing?
No, but like on a real note, there is still Marvel. I think people forget this. There's still Marvel comics coming out to this day. Dude.
Yeah.
So there is. They're not running out anytime soon.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
That's for
certain. But
Now I'm on this big Marvel kick now. I want to go home and like watch all the movies I haven't seen.
can you watch Moon Knight?
I will.
I think if you give it a try, you'll enjoy it.
I think I will too. I'll do that.
I mean, it's a mini series, so keep that in mind. It's not
Yeah.
going to play out like a movie,
Right.
but
Is it like how many episodes? Like 10?
I think it's like 7, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty manageable.
So
Yeah, I'll do that.
I think you'd enjoy it.
I think I would too.
Oscar Isaac is the lead role.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, no, he did a fantastic job in this, especially because it's a more complex role
Mm-hmm.
where he's having to play two versions,
Yeah. Yeah.
like the same or different.
It's always interesting when people play two different versions of them.
Yeah.
Of themselves.
yeah, no, it's and like the visuals are crazy too.
Yeah.
Like he'll see his other version of himself in like reflections,
Oh, cool.
which is and the
Yeah.
way they portray it is really really sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I think that might be it.
I
for
think
this
that's all we have to
portion.
say about Marvel, really. This was a Thunderbolts yap, and then it was like a Marvel yap.
And then a Nicolas Cage yap for
Nicolas
some
Cage
reason.
yap for like 2 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know really what's happening with this little music one, but expect a little mini episode coming out kind of in between this episode and next week's episode.
Just a little treat for
Yeah,
you
a little-
guys.
A little special something.
Yeah.
But thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're definitely in a new era of Loud on Set.
Post Wendland.
Oh, dude.
That was like our end game.
I
bro.
know.
Hopefully-
It's post Wendland, and also like, dude, it was now we're in the summer and our schedules just make more sense.
Yeah.
We can focus a little bit more on our passions and our projects.
Mhm.
New intro. Let me know what you guys think about that.
We love the new intro here
Yeah.
at Loud on
There
Set.
might be a little jingle coming soon.
might be a little jingle in the pipeline.
All right. Well, let us know what movies you want us to watch in the future, because we're definitely now taking recommendations.
Maybe a community tab like thing wouldn't be
Yeah.
a bad idea. Like
yeah,
a
no,
vote.
we could do. Yeah, we could do
Put
that.
2 movies up, and then we'll do a vote.
Yeah, recommend some movies down in the description. We'll do a vote, and yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much.
Thank
for
you so
tuning in.
much.
Peace.
Good.
Fire.